Check test 1 2. Okay, are we working yet? No, there we are. Okay. If you're a delegate, if you could go ahead and take a seat, I think we're at our time. It was pointed out that I set a bad precedent by coming in late yesterday, so let me just. I was handed a reminder or given a reminder that it'd be really nice to kind of gauge who is here for the first time as a delegate. So are there any of you folks in here who are first-time delegates? We got one, two. Hey, I think let's give them a big round of applause. And then this is out to the more collective. So who's here for the first time to district conference? We got one over there. Okay, a couple of them. Hey, okay, hey, thank you. That's good. Okay, let's see. John Hoffman wanted to make an announcement. Oh, okay, well, yeah, let's come back. So, okay, in a moment, we would like to also acknowledge our Zoom participants, but why don't you go ahead and make your announcement.
Question. How many of you here identify as a person? I'm asking you about you, not about others who think of you. How many of you have been part of a family? Well, you're the kind of people we need. We have family camp coming up October 4th through 6th at Camp Mount Hermon. And if you come over and take your phone and you scan my left side of my belly, I will not be offended, but it'll come up on your phone as Camp Mount Hermon Family Camp, and it'll give you all the information you need. We also have 2 flyers. We would like you to take one back to your church and at least post it. So we have that flyer, and we have this flyer. So we're just inviting anybody and everybody to come to family camp. If you're an RVer like I am, we're taking our camper up to there. So there's probably 8 or 10 sites that you can take a RV. And then we also have cabins. If you haven't been to Mount Hermon before, there are 8 usable cabins. So we would appreciate your attendance and your support. The theme for the weekend is moving towards holiness. Sounds like a great time, so please join us.
Thank you, John.
Making camp announcements. I would love to have a few people come to senior high weekend next week.
Okay, if you didn't hear that, when is that, next weekend? Or? Okay, so Sonia was just announcing the senior high weekend next weekend at Camp Mount Herman, inviting folks to come. We in our discussions, I think, maybe in both rounds of the inside sessions this morning, Eller was talking about some of the things that we can do with technology, but that one of the things that's really cool is we can actually, and in our church is set up that we can actually project the people who are here on joining us by Zoom up there. So if you notice, these are our Zoom participants, and so let's wave to them. Okay, and thank you guys, thank you folks for showing up. I do think there are aspects of technology that are certainly making the process of working with this district much easier, because we are so spread apart. Let me just pause a moment and offer a prayer. God, thank you for the chance to come together and be with these people, and give us guidance as we move on through our agenda for today. Lend insight and joy and the fun of interacting with the World Cafe today, that we might generate some interesting new ideas for the future and ways to carry those forward. And thank you for your presence and the guidance that you have given us so far. Amen. Okay, we have essentially a fairly limited list. I think in those terms, I got a much better deal than Bob Bates did in terms of the business meetings. There was just a lot more that we processed last year, and I thought he did a really nice job of working our way through that. So in terms of, if you looked at the schedule, we're going to essentially work our way through the budget first, and then confirming the folks that are hopefully that are called into the gifts discernment. Then I'm really looking forward to some of the reports that we have coming in, both from the national organizations and then some of the local organizations, or the more local organizations. So I don't know, Les, do you want to come back up and?
Hi.
No.
A couple of things I want to add to what I said yesterday, if I can remember what they were, because I forgot them yesterday anyway. We are finding that there are individuals who are starting to give money directly to the budget, and we want to encourage that, as long as it's not something that you would have normally given to your congregation. We do not want to have the district funded at the expense of what you would normally be giving to your congregations, because what you give to your congregations, is very, very important there. Strong congregations, strong district, strong budget. The other thing I did not mention in the details is that this budget does include the salary and all of the agreements that we've made with Blaine and Nancy as far as their service to us. So that's in here. Last year I stood up and said that the budget you were passing was wrong because there was so many things we didn't know. Well, we know more this year but it's still wrong. Just not as wrong. Again, because we are working a year and a half ahead of where we are now, there's going to be a lot of things happen that we didn't know were going to happen, or at least there's that possibility. So the leadership team will probably be making some adjustments to this, but you know, that's what they're for too. Remember, this budget is not what you're giving your money to. You're not supporting a budget. You're supporting the programs of the district. You're supporting the leadership of Blaine and Nancy who come to you and give you their services. So just remember that everything that you've been hearing, everything that's been happening is what you're supporting. You're not just giving to a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper. If there's anything else, any questions or anything that anybody else has, I'll take those now. You continue to make this job boring, and I appreciate that.
So let me pose a question to our parliamentarian. This comes as a motion from a committee, right? So we don't need any kind of secondary or anything else. Okay, so any other discussion that folks would like to enter in on the issues of the budget? I guess, again, maybe we could express appreciation to the, maybe we'll take a vote first. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I think let's go ahead and do it using hands. Okay, it's basically on page 16 and 17 in your booklet if you're interested in looking at it. So all those in favor of the budget for 2025, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, we have the folks on YouTube are voting as well. Excuse me, yes, on Zoom. In fact, we can see this television up here where we can see those folks. So, okay, and then anybody opposed? Okay, I'm not raising my hand.
Not big.
Okay, hey, I think that passes. Big, warm appreciation for the folks on Stewart's team.
Just a real quick to follow up on my board remark. I was leaving work one day, and somebody said, "How was your day?" I said, "It was interesting." And they said, "Oh, good." I said, "No, I'm an accountant." I just want to, because it's probably completely irrelevant, I want to point out that Vaughn can now turn on these lights. So just in case you need a warning about whether you're talking too long, I assume that the yellow is a warning and the red is when you're supposed to just be quiet. Okay. Okay, our next item of business would be the affirmation of the folks called by gifts discernment. Maybe I'll just run through the list here real quick again. We didn't talk about projecting the names back up here. But we have Lowell Flory being called into another round of being the chair of the leadership team. Unfortunately, Jerry Bowen couldn't be here this weekend because he's off leading a FaithX work camp. He's been called as the moderator-elect. Gary Best is going to be serving out a one-year term, I think, finishing off the district conference planning team clerk position. Leroy Weddle is going to stay on our district conference planning team, so he's up for a 3-year term. Bob Bates is part of the Set Apart Ministry team. That's a 1-year renewable term. Carolyn Schrock also on the Set Apart Ministry team for a 1-year renewable term. I guess if you wanted to follow this is also pages 12 through 14 in your book. Sue Williams has taken on one of the positions as on the Outdoor Ministries team as a staffing coordinator. And Meyer Coulter has taken on one of the positions on the Outdoor Ministries team as the registration coordinator. And then Ken Davidson has been called into the gifts discernment team for
one-year renewable term. Again, I think this would be parliamentary-wise. This came from one of our leadership teams. Any other? Okay, good.
When we were invited to, as teams, a part of the leadership team, were invited to check with our members about whether they would renew the Alan Stuckey, who's currently been serving on the Senate Park Minister team, also said that he would continue for another one-year term. So I don't know how that got missed, and I'm sorry I didn't notice it yesterday.
Okay. So would he have been a one-year renewable or a longer?
I think they have all been 1 year, well, on Senate Park Ministry anyway, we're 1 year renewable.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe Lowell can.
The way the bylaws read are that when someone is elected by you to a ministry team, I'm not talking about the chairs of the teams, but members of the ministry teams, they are voted on by the district conference the first year. After that, it doesn't require, read your bylaws, it doesn't require the conference to vote again on a subsequent year. From the second year on, it's just as long as they're willing to continue to serve, they continue to serve, and it gets negotiated between Gifts Discernment and the team chair.
Well, I wondered about
So,
that. So
yeah.
actually,
So,
well, I think Bob Bates and Carolyn Schrock came on mid-year.
they
Maybe
they
that's-
were approved mid-year by the
Yeah,
leadership team,
right.
so they're being voted
That's
on by the
probably
district
why they're
conference
on
this
the
time.
ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Alan would have been voted on at a previous year,
Yeah.
and so he's just an
Whenever,
automatic
yeah.
renewal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think hopefully that, well, let's just reiterate real quick. So the idea is that the first time you get called onto a team, that really does need to come before district conference. And so that the list of people that I just went through are those who are essentially being voted for the first time or renewal of like a 3-year term or something like that. Other folks on the team, if they're willing to renew, well, we don't reconfirm that every time. Can I get an affirmation for the folks being called into our leadership positions? Why don't we say yes, if you think? Yes. Okay. Anybody want to do a no? Oh, okay. I think that would be a unanimous approval. Okay. Hey, and just again, thank you so much to the people who have said yes. I know from my own personal experience, and everybody else I think is in the same situation, that life seems to be so dense in terms of all the things we have to do and everything else that is challenging for people to try to make this space. I guess I want to just throw a comment in that Vicki Samlin in the World Cafe session yesterday. I was hosting the Zoom group. And she was pointing out how that, one of the ways that you really get into this is that, like, if you actually say yes to something and then start hanging out with some of these other folks that in the district who are in leadership positions and so forth, and there's just this really wonderful connection. I know in many ways the reason I said yes was because of my experience of being moderator in this church. Which I did for 6 years. I just had such an amazing experience working with the other people on the leadership team there in the church and the congregation and everything else. And of course, you folks have said yes to being delegates, and that's at least one really important step too. But there is something that's really powerful about saying yes to something, and then getting to participate in the collective work of that process. So. That's another appeal for an outdoor ministry team's chair. So, okay. Let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're a little ahead. I know that there were some people who were interested in coming in for the reports, but it feels like if we have this time, maybe we can just let the folks who are going to give us some information have just a little bit more time. And so our first, I think our first presenter here is David Steele, and he's going to be talking about the Mission and Ministry Board.
Might remind the delegates it's their responsibility to take this information back to their congregation.
Okay, so Dan's reminding me to remind you that the data transmission process here is that you really want to remember that one of your quote duties as a delegate is to try to get this information back into your congregations. So if you want, take some notes. I mean, there's some great reports here in the booklet, but if you and just try to make sure you consciously get back and relate some of this information. Okay, David.
Brother Moderator, friends in Christ, it is good to be with you. It's good to be in McPherson and back in Western Plains. Personal point of privilege, it is good to be here. This place holds many fond memories, especially in 2 weeks, 39 years ago, 2 weeks from now, Sarah and I would have been married in this church. So we have fond memories of the McPherson Church. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Mission and Ministry Board and our staff and volunteers who are engaged in worldwide ministries. I'd like to recognize other denominational leadership that are with us today. I believe he stepped out. Sean Fleury Replogo is our Executive Director of Organizational Resources. Nancy Sollenberger Heichman is our Director of Ministry. Shannon McNeil Smith, Mission Advocate. Ryan Brott is a circuit writer for the part-time pastor full-time church program. And I want to acknowledge Colby Patton, who's coming on as a Mission and Ministry Board member, and we're excited that she is joining us as a board. Was elected by conference. Yeah, amen. It's really been fun as in my role to watch a young leadership emerge around the board table and the enthusiasm and the passion that they bring to that table. We also want to acknowledge in this district saying goodbye to Roger Schrock, who had served for the last 5 years on the Mission and Ministry Board, and we are grateful for the ways that he has served us and will continue to be helpful in the area of global mission. Right, Roger? Yeah. Yes. There were 3 publications that were either handed to you or available to you from the back table. One was our annual report. This gives an overview of the last year, ministry of the last year. One is the Advocating Generosity, really is a tool resource about thinking about ways to give and support the ministries of the church. And the other is At a Glance, just giving you some of the statistics related to some of our ministries in 2023. We are in the midst of 2 staff searches. One is an executive director of global mission, and I want to highlight both of these because if you know individuals with passions about working in global ministry in the global community, we would welcome you to tap them on the shoulder and encourage them into at least inquiring and having a conversation with us. We've heard a number of times here and in some of our sessions about the need for leadership and calling leadership and creating a culture of call. Many of us are a result of that. Somebody seeing something in us. And Ken Holderreid was the one who called me to ministry. And to this day, I still blame him for that. And I've told him that. Over the years. The other search, you're all responsible for. And we are delighted I am delighted that Nancy in particular has opened herself up to a call and exploring a call to ministry. I've been in the business of church for a lot of years and watching people being nudged by the Spirit and by individuals in their congregations and have appreciated anybody being willing to open themselves up to God's call. And so I'm delighted for you and for Nancy and Blaine. But that said, I'm also looking for an executive administrative assistant. So if there's anybody in your district you want to send our way, I'd be glad to welcome that as well. So there have been some conversations taking place at an executive staff level the last several months, and we've been talking about beginning to talk more and more about what does it mean, what does a vibrant future look for the Church of the Brethren, and what is needed to get us there. And how can the Mission and Ministry Board and staff best nurture and empower the next Church of the Brethren generation? And we're still discerning some of that, but it's really clear that a lot of the work we've been doing continues to be relevant and important, and that is work related to supporting and strengthening our congregations, nurturing and developing leadership within those congregations, as well as nurturing our young people into leadership and leadership development. And so we will be working to kind of reassess and evaluate our ministries around that, some of those priorities in ways, and we've also been reaching out not to every congregation, but to several congregational leaders to better understand what their needs have been and how our work might be helpful to them going forward. So that's some of the work we're doing. I'm not going to walk through the long list of ministries. You will see on the back of the annual report just a taste of all that we work at on your behalf. But we do have some events coming up. We have a lead conference. It's a leadership development conference. It's a new conference that's happening this fall. Next winter, next February, I believe it is the clergy women's retreat, and want you to consider those, as well as next year as we cycle into the events for youth and young adult ministries as well. And we take all of those pieces seriously, especially excited to see the way that our service ministries are evolving. Brethren Disaster Ministries continues to be a priority for us, for the church. Work camps for a lot of years were a priority. I was inspired at this conference a number of years ago, talking to a couple about some of their short-term service experiences outside of the Church of the Brethren and an organization they were working with, and went back to staff and talked about what would it look like if we began to think about short-term service opportunities for our adults and young adults that are not tied to a year's service in BVS. And so if you've looked at all at the Faith X, our short-term service opportunities, we do have the traditional service experiences for junior high and senior high, but we're beginning to wrap in some other kinds of experiences. An adult work camp experience service opportunity happened this past February in Florida at Camp Ithiel. So if you want a warmer climate, that might be an opportunity. And then we had a family work camp this year, designed that families could come to serve, and this happened at Camp Blue Diamond. And so we're really trying to think about different ways to engage and provide opportunities for the church to be engaged in service outside the traditional BVS and even outside the traditional Brethren Disaster Ministries. Global mission continues to be a priority for the Church of the Brethren, and the way that ministry continues to evolve, we can hardly keep up. Their support for ongoing missions and projects emerging missions and projects is ongoing, but our focus is also shifting to work with autonomous brethren bodies in various countries around the world through mutual encouragement, sharing resources, and supporting each other's efforts. What do I mean by autonomous? Well, we've developed in partnership with a group of Global Church of the Brethren, the Global Church of the Brethren Communion. And they are the ones that are making decisions about church membership and other brethren bodies coming into the global community and not us. And it's been exciting, it's emerging, we're still learning the way together. But currently there are, in addition to us, there are 11 other countries, other church and brethren bodies that are currently members of the global communion. Brazil, Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Honduras, India, Nigeria, Rwanda, Spain, Uganda, and Venezuela. We also have our project in South Sudan, which there have been 2 churches that we're partnering with that have been planted or being planted with the African Inland Church. And so we're excited about those efforts. In addition to that, there are emerging missions and projects that are happening in the global community. Burundi, 50 churches, approximately 50 churches, since 2016. The leader from Burundi was at annual conference this year. They've not been formally recognized into the global communion yet, but I'm sure that will happen soon. But a lot of enthusiasm. Churches in Cameroon, Chad, Niger Republic are mission points for the EYN Church. They're doing missions in other countries. In Colombia, there's a church started by refugees from Venezuela. And of course, Mexico, Long-Term Church of the Brethren founded community project in Tijuana by Bittersweet. Ukraine, there's one fellowship. So the global body is growing in ways we celebrate and give God thanks for. We, in part, may be in somewhat of a decline here in the States, but we also see growth and enthusiasm in our Spanish-speaking and Haitian congregations. And so we celebrate that as well. The church, my friends, as we all know, has changed. The church of today and tomorrow looks very different than the church of yesterday. It's easy for us to get distracted in this time of diminishing resources and focusing on what we no longer have. But a vibrant church recognizes the abundances that come from God and are available to us to use and to benefit our communities. Our focus should be motivated less by the idea that money is shrinking and more by what the church needs and what we are capable of doing in the world with God's help. I would conclude my report with that, although there was no time in the time lot, so maybe I can just leave 5 minutes.
We have time if you want to entertain some questions.
Are there any questions about anything I said or other questions outside of that?
So, I'm trained to ask questions. Do you have any feel for what is it that for some of these churches, like, I mean, EYN obviously is an example, and then Brazil's been growing. What is it that they still possess that we are missing here?
What makes them grow?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the global church, Ukraine, Burundi, these are churches that have been drawn to some of the values of the Church of the Brethren. They've seen us on the website and other resources wrapped around our peace position in particular. And so there's a sense of growth and wanting to make that kind of connection and witness in the world. The EYN, I don't know, Roger, I mean, there's just a sense of their passion and commitment to Christ and community and a clear working together in ways that through all the violence that they've experienced, through all the violence they experienced, they've held tightly and firmly to this idea of peace and not engaging in war. So clearly, there are also lots of cultural differences that are unique.
Well, I know in Nigeria they have longer church services.
So we should be preaching longer, right?
Something like that, or playing more drums. We're going to try that one tonight. Any other questions from folks? Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave.
Yep.
So I think the next one, so is Ed here? Yeah, there he is. Okay. Ed Shannon is going to give us a report on Ader Financial.
Good afternoon, Brother Moderator, brothers and sisters in Christ. My name is Ed Shannon, and I'm the Client Services Manager, one of the Client Services Managers with Ader Financial. I appreciate that you're giving us this time. We have a formal written report. I believe it's on page 46 and 47 in the booklet. But we would like to sum up what we do with a video around the theme of flourishing. And then at the end of the video, I have just a couple of more remarks. So can we have the video?
The work of Ader Financial is underscored by a genuine interest in helping you thrive. We're all members of a community dedicated to supporting the well-being of our neighbors. Helping you flourish is good for our communities. Your employees are better able to focus on the work they're passionate about if they have peace of mind in knowing that they and their family's financial needs are cared for. And your stakeholders can feel good knowing your investments are meeting your short and long-term funding needs while not profiting at the expense of others. If you're blessed with financial resources that you will outlive, we can help you leave a legacy of generosity so that organizations important to you will flourish far into the future. Listen to some of the ways our team is helping to support you.
Have you thought much about retirement? Since I'm blessed with 4 daughters, I know I have. My role at Ader Financial is to spearhead our retirement plan and services. Our vision is to provide employers with a robust package that helps prepare their employees for a fulfilling retirement. If you use our services, your employees will have access to retirement consulting and investment allocation advice. We offer an expansive list of values-based investments. Maybe best of all, we provide customized distribution methods, including a lifetime income option. Are you looking to provide your church pastor a solid retirement? We can help. Or do you know an HR director or CFO looking for a new benefits provider? Consider referring them to us at Ader Financial. We offer a one-stop shop for record keeping, investment management, and employee retirement education. At Ader Financial, we flourish when you flourish.
We put your employees at the heart of all we do. That means we provide security and peace of mind with a full suite of medical and employee-based insurances for qualified individuals, ranging from vision and dental to disability and Medicare supplement. My role at Ader Financial is to create plan designs that provide solutions to care for the unique needs of your church and organization. When you need a quality insurance plan, you can rely on Ader Financial's expertise to develop a plan that meets your employees' needs. Our insurance products protect you against loss, illness, and injury and provide for your health and wellness. We flourish when you flourish.
Some boards are comprised of attorneys, financial advisors, and accountants. Others are teachers, farmers, and homemakers. Regardless of the makeup of your board, Ader Organizational Investing can help elevate your impact. We offer a curated, robust menu of investment funds that serve both do-it-yourself investors as well as those that prefer the benefits of professional management. Are you more focused now on fundraising rather than stewardship? We have you covered. Our team is building a toolkit of on-demand videos supported by sample documents and best practices to supercharge your processes and people. This toolkit will help you build an ecosystem of financial wellness by addressing topics such as financial fluency, fundraising campaigns, planned giving, and communication strategies. Whether the next steps of your growth look like donor engagement, investment stewardship, or debt management, Ader Financial offers unique tools and expertise as a business-to-business nonprofit specialist. When you flourish, we flourish.
As economic conditions change and as your needs change, our products, technology, and methods may evolve, but our focus on serving will never waver. Our knowledgeable client services team is the face of Ader Financial to our clients and members. They're deeply committed to helping you navigate life's challenges so you can flourish. Thank you for putting your trust in us. It's our honor to serve you.
So you saw in that video that we offer 3 main products. We offer retirement for church employees, we offer ancillary insurance products for church employees, and we offer organizational investing for the church as a whole. So if you have a cemetery fund or funds for a new sanctuary, we can help you invest those products so that, invest those monies so that when you have need of them, they've been under good stewardship, they've grown, and the original investment buys more than what it would have started out to do. Now, my particular passion, my particular area within Ader Financial is retirement. And as I look around the room, there are some people in this room that I have had the honor and the pleasure to help come across the line and finish well into retirement with their retirement account, and some people in this room who will cross that line in a year or so, and I've been able to build some relationships and help them get some things set up. So because retirement is my particular passion, I am pleased to announce that if your church does not currently have your pastor enrolled in the Ader retirement plan, and you work with us to get that pastor enrolled in the next 30 days, Ader Retirement will donate $250 to the new enrollee's account. Also pleased to announce that for those who may have some money that our organizational investing arm can help, that if you open an organizational investing account as a church with Ader Financial, again, in the next 30 days, we will donate $250 to that account. These are ways that we can help you flourish. We can help you get started with, if you will, the seed money for the retirement account or seed money for a new organizational investing account. Very happy to be able to announce that we have these incentives. And if you want to talk more about that, I will be around at the table in the other building for a while yet this afternoon. We still have some of those black designer handbags that ladies love, so please come and get those. We would love to be able to give you a handbag, and if you're not going to use it as a designer handbag, maybe you want to use it to carry tools, we'll give a guy a handbag too. This concludes my report for Ader Financial. If you have any questions and I can answer those, I would be happy to do so at this time.
Can you tell a little bit about what non-clergy people can do? For example, the deferred gifts.
Sure. Thank you for that. Our organizational investing arm focuses mostly on helping churches, organizations with their money. But we do have some opportunities for deferred gift annuities. If that's something that would be of interest to you, I will be brutally honest here. I'm not the expert on that, but I have access to the experts on our team. And if you are interested in that, you give me contact information, I will make sure that our organizational investing team reaches out to you. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I'm sorry, I'm going to throw one in. The AIDR is one that has changed names in relatively recent time. How has that gone? Has it actually expanded business, or?
It is. You may recall it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I still answer the phone, Brethren Benefit Trust sometimes. I see that it has gone well in that we're getting more opportunity to talk to organizations under the AIDR name than I think we had under the Brethren Benefit Trust name. We still are a Brethren organization. We still serve churches of the Brethren, but the name change gives us some more opportunity to go out into the community. I am aware of, I don't want to talk about details, but there are several opportunities that we have and that we are pursuing for more business with retirement, more business with organizational investing, and even more business with our insurance arm. Have brought on some new clients recently. 2 years ago, I was the only retirement plan consultant, client manager, if you will, and we now have 3 of us. So that tells you that we are growing. We're constantly looking at better ways to serve, and I think that the new name change and our new strategy is going to be successful long term, and we're seeing some effects of that already.
And for those who've never been to Schwarzenau, what's the AIDR reference?
So the AIDR reference, if you are familiar with your Brethren history, is the AIDR River, was where the first Brethren were baptized. And I actually think that coming up with the name AIDR was a stroke of brilliance, because for Brethren people, that is still a very important name. And for non-Brethren people, it's not off-putting because they don't know what it means.
Okay. Any other questions? Hey, well, thank you very much, Ed.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, you were working your way up forward anyway. Thanks.
So, Ed, I have a question. You just mentioned a deferred gift annuity. Can a deferred gift annuity help a partner organization flourish?
Yes.
Hold that thought. My name is Jeff Carter. I'm president of Bethany Theological Seminary. I'm in my 12th year as president. Our report is in your booklet, and it is entitled, "Where Do Pastors Come From?" So how many of you are Bethany grads? Raise your hand nice and high. So there's your answer. Where do pastors come from? They come from congregations that call them into the ministry, and the ministry can be in a variety of forms, and they come to Bethany and are educated and receive a degree. We have 4 degrees, 7 certificates, and then they often are off to serve. Many of those in the church are already serving, and then they come to Bethany to be educated. So we've been very flexible in the way we offer our educational opportunities to meet the needs of the church. So how are we meeting the needs of the church? Well, let me show you a video, and you'll find out more about what it means to flourish. The Bethany Flourish campaign is an opportunity to raise $12 million in support of Bethany Theological Seminary and our program. And equally as important, to tell the story of what we have learned over the last decade, how ministry is changing, how the ministry of Bethany has changed to meet the needs of our students and congregations in the church, as well as to share some of the good work that is happening here at the seminary.
The campaign directly supports people like me, my faculty members, and I, who also teach courses that are required and have been taught for many years, but have changed dramatically over the years. So for example, I've been teaching preaching and worship now for a long time, and my intro level preaching course has been overhauled and reimagined numerous times over the years. In particular, lately, I've been integrating theopoetics into it and social justice issues, concerns that I know our students in local churches and their communities are very concerned about, and how we can communicate the gospel of Jesus Christ as it relates to these really important questions and concerns of our time today.
As I teach more students from Nigeria, I find it essential to have gone to Nigeria. Bethany made provision for me and for a friend, Musa Mambala, to travel in Nigeria together, where I met with leaders from EYN, met students, helped with their admissions process, and also helped to envision what our program could become there. I found that absolutely essential and hope to go back other times, as other Bethany faculty have also traveled.
I realized when I was applying to Bethany Seminary, when I was looking and reading about the BOLD program, that I was, to be honest, terrified. I do not know if I could do it. I don't know if I could not disappoint the people who believed in me. It was a challenge. It was something that I've never done before. I've never done anything alike to the BOLD program, and I've never ever had this holistic experience when it comes to education. And when I realized I was scared, I knew it's the right choice.
The Bethany neighborhood and the Bethany BOLD program are putting students into situations that might be new to them, engaging them in work on behalf of communities, and the kind of ministry that we'll need to have in the future as folks follow Jesus where they are in varieties of roles.
It's very rewarding to see former students occupying positions in leadership in their districts and the denomination, and seeing how they've built on their Bethany education and the Brethren studies that they've done in order to assume those roles in the church.
When I think of Bethany graduates, I think of a pastor who knows 50 people experiencing homelessness in their community by name. In Nigeria, I think of a pastor encouraging the youth of the congregation not to retaliate when they have been attacked by Muslim extremists. Or I think of a woman who is a Christian educator working with other women, some of whom are in the sex trade, and showing them not only the transformative grace of God, but also helping them find other ways to make a living.
Bethany has proven to be innovative in the program that we seek to share with our students and with the church. And the students, they have responded. We never want this program to be at risk. And so I ask you, are you willing and able to support the Flourish campaign, to provide for a rising generation of Christian leaders, provide for a seminary that is responsive to the needs of students in the church, so that the world flourishes, and so that we might continue to share the values and a ministry that together we hold dear. And said, do you understand that Ader Financial is using the word flourish? Because we've been working on this campaign quietly for the last 2 years, and I said, and it's all good. Right? We can flourish together. And it's interesting how these agencies of the church can partner together for our common good. And so, Ed, thanks for taking my question. Yes, we can flourish together with the ministries that we hold dear. At Bethany, it is $1,100 a semester, $2,200 a year with scholarship to attend Bethany. Think about that per credit hour. And our program is expanding. We have these 4 degrees and 7 graduate certificates now. The newest graduate certificate is in response to the Council of District Executives. Knowing that we are in a pastoral shortage, we have more and more pastors coming from other denominations into the Church of the Brethren to serve our congregations. And so we introduced a Certificate of Achievement in Ministry Studies, 6 classes, all focused on the Church of the Brethren. Peace Studies, Church of the Brethren Theology, New Testament, practices of the Church of the Brethren, so people know how to do feet washing. And so this certificate is in direct response to a need from the Council of District Executives as we seek to continue to fill the pulpits within the Church of the Brethren and with friends from other denominations. What's new at Bethany? Obviously our campaign. Flourish, a campaign for Bethany Theological Seminary, which seeks to raise $12 million to support the student experience. This is additional scholarship, a residential program, which we call BOLD, to build, to organize, to love, to dare. It's community engagement, and our program in Nigeria. It's also to bolster faculty innovation. 2 pieces. One, to provide additional funds so that our faculty, not only on their sabbaticals, but as they move through each year, have the funds to go and to continue research projects, their writing, their publishing, speaking at conferences, as well as to establish a chair in biblical study, in Brethren Studies. So you think, well, the Church of the Brethren Seminary, Bethany, isn't that just a given? And it is, but we want to deepen the commitment we have to Brethren Studies. And so we have an anonymous donor who has provided a gift of $1.5 million that we've received that will support a chair in Brethren Studies at Bethany. It is a way to say that our witness and our ministry is critically important and part of our program. And then the third part is our Bethany Fund, which is our year-to-year operations. So what's new is the Flourish campaign, $12 million campaign. We've raised $9 million thus far, and we are going public with that campaign this summer. The results of our mission, well, you know Shanna Leck. She just graduated this past spring from this district. At Bethany, we conferred 11 master's degrees and 17 graduate certificates in May. The majority of our students are already serving. And so the question about where do pastors come from, that's why we decided to respond to that question with our report. And we had our second graduation this year. It's our first one in Nigeria. And so a team of us traveled to Nigeria where we conferred 22 degrees upon students who have graduated or finished their diplomas between 2021 and 2024. We plan to do this every other year. The program in Nigeria is growing. As the General Secretary said, global missions is expanding as far as the churches across the globe as they grow. And in Nigeria, we've had to put caps on the number of students because it is a growing and vibrant program. We have received the attention of the Nigerian government, and they are looking to accredit our program so that they then can hire back graduates from our program in peacemaking efforts to support the country of Nigeria. It is an incredible partnership that is growing. So we had our first commencement, and we'll have our second commencement hopefully in 2 years. The newly elected president of EYN, Ecclesia NUR in Nigeria, the Reverend Dr. Daniel Y.C. Baya, was our commencement speaker. And following annual conference, he spent 3 very full days in Richmond, Indiana, as we continue to deepen the partnership in the program. A few things to keep in mind. 30 years ago, do you know what we were doing? We were moving. We were. And the thought was, we're leaving Oak Brook. Lowell Flory, to my right, was chair of the board at that time and made a very difficult decision with then President Gene Roop and the board to leave Oak Brook. And some thought the seminary, I don't know if they're going to survive. Not only are we surviving, but we're flourishing 30 years later in Richmond, Indiana. Do you know how many years we were at Oak Brook? 31. Gene Roop sent me a note at annual conference that said 31 years we were at Oak Brook. You think we were there forever, but 31 years. Next year, how many years will Bethany be in Richmond? 31. And the year after that, how many years? And then after that, 33, because we're not going anywhere, right? And so 30 years in Richmond. I do want to thank Lowell and Gene and the board for making that decision, because not only are we surviving, but we're thriving. Thanks to Monica Rice Fry, who is concluding her service as a board member, 5 years, representing the colleges, and now she's obviously with the Cedars, and for Jonathan Fry, who is continuing as a board member. I do ask for your prayers for the seminary as we continue to move through. Higher ed is a difficult place these days, and yet we're doing well as we continue to educate those who are called to service. I do give you thanks for your support. So many of the congregations of this district support the seminary financially, and give thanks for your individual and corporate support. And Connie made the comment, who are you calling, right? All those hands that went up that have been called and are serving, those who have come to Bethany. So who are you calling today? You're not responsible for their answer. You are responsible for the call. And so who are you calling today? We have called Doug Macias. Doug, why don't you stand up as our Director of Fundraising and Constituent Relations. He is new to the Church of the Brethren. This is his first district conference. I thought, what a great introduction to the Church of the Brethren. Stay standing, Doug. And it's his first trip with me. And today is Doug's birthday. So will you join me in singing Happy Birthday to Doug? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Doug. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Doug. That was pretty good. So Ed, David, we flourish together. In the Church of the Brethren, it is always together. As we would say, peacefully, simply together, right? Flourishing, it's what we're all about. Thanks for joining Bethany.
Very much so. So Monica just got invoked, so why don't we invoke her again? Monica's coming up to give us a report on the Cedars.
Greetings. Yes, you can see I'm in my Cedars green. I could just as easily be wearing Bethany blue, and for many years wore McPherson red. So thanks for having me here today on behalf of the Cedars. And I was so glad to see many of you last night at the Cedars in person for our ice cream social. Thanks for coming and sharing that time together where we could eat and fellowship. And I want to give a special thanks. We called in some extra helpers because we were light on Cedars staff. And so Community Care Hospice, which is our on-campus hospice provider, sent a couple of people to help serve you your ice cream. So I wanted to share a special thanks to them as I share this afternoon. And as I look out, I can see that many people have direct connections to the Cedars retirement community. Either you live there, have family there, or have known family and friends at the Cedars. And so we celebrate that, and that you know much about the deep history of the Cedars here in the district. So over the last year, we as the Cedars have been working with board, staff, residents, and McPherson community members to put together a plan for the future of the Cedars, to come up with an updated mission and vision statement, one that reflects the 133-year history of the Cedars. Yes, we are the oldest continuously existing retirement community in the state of Kansas, 133 years, but to also think about future needs of our residents, family members, and staff. The world of healthcare and retirement and aging services is changing. And so how do we change with that? Well, what we've decided to do is to focus on the word and the idea of premier as a standard of measurement by which we address every decision we make moving forward, providing premier care in premier facilities while building premier community. So in one move towards that vision, the Cedars and McPherson College have come together to provide student housing for the college. So 2 of the Cedars Ridge houses, if you know the Cedars, there's kind of 4 houses that are a little bit disconnected from the main center of campus. 2 of those buildings in just a couple of weeks will become residential halls for McPherson College. And so, well, how does that benefit our residents and provide premier care? It's a win for the Cedars because our staff can be more focused on the attention that they offer to our current residents, and it also offers the opportunity for intergenerational interaction. I know that one of the RAs that's going to be moving in just in about 1 week's time, one of their very first questions was, can we interact with residents? Can we play games with them? Can we talk together with them? And so we're hoping that there'll be great opportunities for interaction between the college students and our residents at the Cedars. Another change that some of you may have noticed last evening when you came in for the ice cream social is that the building that was formerly referred to as the Cedars Wellness and Conference Center has been renamed to the simpler and more marketable name of the Cedars Event Center. So this is a good time to remind you all that the Cedars belongs to you, and we're available as a space for you to use. Nonprofits receive free rental space in the Cedars. That includes everything from our large ballrooms down to smaller meeting rooms. Or if you and your family want to reserve spaces, that can be done for a modest fee as well. So you can always call me or call the Cedars. And that includes all of you that are out of town. If you have something that you'd like to happen in McPherson, we'd love to help partner with you on that. And then speaking of spaces on campus, I am very excited to share that the St. Stephen's of Kansas Charitable Trust has awarded the Cedars a $100,000 matching grant to remove the unusable north end, which was the healthcare building on campus that's been sitting vacant for well over a year. So that is a space that got great use from its opening in the 1990s, but had some significant sewer trouble a couple of years ago. And the cost to refurbish that to be usable far exceeded what we are able and willing to pay to make that a usable space. So I want to just read a tiny bit from what St. Stephen's said to us when they awarded us our grant. They said, while it's unusual to find the tearing down of something instead of building in the ways that we award grants, we understand the necessity of this request. So we're going to be able to receive that $100,000 as long as we raise $100,000 of our own by the end of December 2024, and that will cover the full cost of raising that area. Most importantly, that creates a space in the heart of campus at the center where we can dream and vision what we will use that for next. And so that's what we're really preparing. We're preparing the soil for how we're going to use that space next. So if you're interested in learning more about that particular opportunity to support the Cedars, but especially if you're interested in seeing available units or spaces on campus, you can always call me, but even more importantly, you can call our brand new Director of Marketing and Sales, Austin Russell, and he will be very happy to show you around campus any day, anytime. We'd love to have you stop by. I would say even more important than calling one of us, talk to some of the residents that are here at conference, get their real story about what it is like to be a member of the community at the Cedars retirement community. So I'll look forward to any questions that you might have, but especially talking with you at the table and sharing more about the Cedars this afternoon.
Any questions right now?
Sarah Mason from Monitor. I have one question. Being past member of District Conference Planning Team and knowing that lodging has been a difficult thing to come by here, are there rooms available in the near future through Cedars where we could make connections?
That's a great question. We have 2 dedicated guest houses that rent out considerably less expensively than many of the hotels here in McPherson. So those you could call and they're available all year long. But because of moving in and out and the revamps that need to happen, we don't have a lot of other hotel-like space or residential space on campus. But I appreciate that question, and so we'll keep it in mind, especially if we're changing things in the future, that could be an opportunity.
Okay, any other questions?
How much the per night costs? That's $80 per night for the to use one of the guest houses. So. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's a fully furnished space. My mom and stepdad used it when they came out for my wedding last year, and I thought they were just gonna keep living there because they loved it so much. So.
Well, probably time-wise, we need to move on. Thank you very much, Monica. A longtime companion of ours in this area is Prairie View, and Anitra Burton is going to give us a presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the Western District Conference for having us here, the Church of the Brethren, all clergy in attendance, brothers and sisters in Christ. I bring you greetings from our President and CEO, Marcy Johnson. My name is Anitra Burton. I'm the Director of Marketing for Prairie View. We have a lot of wonderful things going on at Prairie View right now. We are serving our wonderful communities for over 70 years now. Service, healing, caring for the people that matter most to us in the community. We're thrilled to share the exciting developments that we have going on at Prairie View, and we are deeply appreciative of the ongoing support and prayers of you guys that have made it possible. We would like to proudly announce that we have received full accreditation as a certified community behavioral health clinic, CCBHC, by the state of Kansas. This comprehensive model of care emphasizes an integrated approach to health, combining mental health and substance use disorder services with physical health care and social services. Our teams focus on person-centered and family-centered care that is trauma-informed and recovery-oriented. By addressing the whole person and coordinating all aspects of care, we offer more connected and efficient pathways to recovery for the communities we serve. In addition to this milestone, Prairie View is pleased to announce the opening of our Behavioral Urgent Care Center, which provides crisis intervention and emergency assessments to individuals experiencing mental health crisis. As one of the first CCBHCs in Kansas to offer these critical services, this launch represents our ongoing dedication to the well-being of the citizens of Harvey, Marion, and McPherson counties. By introducing the Behavioral Urgent Care Center, Prairie View reaffirms its commitment to innovation and excellence in delivering comprehensive mental health care to people when they need it the most. We're also delighted to share that we now offer same-day evaluations, which eases the burden many face when seeking mental health care. This service provides immediate access to quality care, allowing individuals in need to quickly connect with a mental health professional for an initial evaluation. By offering same-day appointments, we are breaking down barriers and reducing wait times, making mental health care more accessible and impactful for our communities. This initiative has had a profound positive effect, empowering individuals to take first steps toward healing and recovery. We look forward to continuing our mission of providing exceptional care and the support to the communities in the spirit of Christ. We are thankful for the Western District Conference and your ongoing partnership and support. That concludes my report.
Okay, our next presenter is, let's see, I think it's Kim Rudder from Brethren Mutual Aid.
Brother Moderator, brothers and sisters, good afternoon. I think I'm the last to report here, so I'm going to keep it brief. I think we're all getting anxious to get over to the fellowship reception and enjoy some nice refreshments. So I'm just going to jump in and introduce myself. I'm Kim Rudder, and I'm happy to be here with you today as the General Manager of Mutual Aid Agency, or MAA, as many of you may know us by. I've been serving this organization since 2012, and many of you may partner with us for your home or your church insurance, and we thank you for that. I'm going to share a little bit about our history and about what we do for those who may not know about us. MAA was founded in 1885, and we're excited to be celebrating our 140th anniversary next year. Our founders were driven by a strong desire to care for one another during times of loss and envisioned a faith-based insurance company rooted in the principles and values of the Brethren faith tradition. Since our humble beginnings around kitchen tables, we've grown into a comprehensive insurance provider with a full range of property insurance offerings. One of the unique aspects of MAA is our focus on church and ministry. Our agents understand the unique risks that congregations face and work to tailor insurance plans to protect churches, denominational offices, camps, schools, related ministries, nonprofits, ensuring that your facilities and members are all well protected. Beyond coverage for church, we also offer comprehensive plans for home, auto, renters, small businesses. Our home is in rural Abilene, yet we faithfully serve clients across 17 states. We insure 461 congregations, with 69 of those right here in Kansas. 1/3 of the 1,200 households we insure are also here in Kansas. But we're not just about policies and premiums. We're about standing ready to lend a hand, promoting stewardship, and sharing resources. As an organization, we strive to embody mutual aid and community in everything we do. A significant part of this commitment is demonstrated through the Brethren Mutual Aid Share Fund. This fund was established as a channel for MAA to come alongside the churches we insure to further their caring and sharing ministries to others. Each year, MAA ties a portions of our profits and our client premium dollars to the Share Fund. And so through the benevolent giving of the church, when they support those facing crisis, such as sudden job loss, funeral expense, or medical bills, the Share Fund then provides a matching financial gift to extend their outreach. In this way, we partner together to overcome barriers some folks may face in meeting common human needs. And as I stand before you, I'm grateful to represent an organization that's committed to doing good. Right now, all of us are experiencing the hardest rate disruption the insurance industry has witnessed in over 25 years. So you know this means I'm about ready to drop a shameless plug here. But if you aren't already partnering with MAA, I encourage you to come over to our booth and get some information about the services we provide. Right now, rates are high everywhere, but quotes are free. So we might be able to help find you coverage that may be more affordable. Again, just any questions you may have about our services, what we can do, please come see me at the booth. I can connect you with one of our agents that would be happy to help you when the time is right for you. So until then, I look forward to being fellowship with you across the way, and if you have any questions, please do just stop by and see me. Thank you.
So we a big thanks to both Prairie View and to Mutual Aid for providing support for the next activity, which is essentially
And Ader's.
oh, Ader is actually also pitched in. I guess I saw that note later. So thank you, Ader, for helping fund the fellowship over in the hall. So all of you have walked through there at this point already, and maybe stopped for a little bit. But I think all the tables are going to be there'll be somebody sitting there anyway, and some food and drink in case you need any of that. And then I guess in about 55 minutes, we want to gather in Menschenbach for the second World Cafe session. So I think, Diane, you have some.
Well, once again, you stole my thunder. But I would add to what Alan said, just a reminder that worship tonight, Enton Eller is going to be our speaker, and he's going to be speaking on faith. That will be followed by an auction of these wonderful items that are sitting here in the foyer. Be sure you have another look at those and decide what you're going to be bidding on. And then this drum circle this evening, which we have heard of scientific evidence that is very therapeutic. So encourage you to stay and be part of that as well. Now, the form for the day. Remember, on the registration table, there's a bunch of forms. The form for the day is a yellow one. It's the evaluation form for conference. And we encourage you to fill one out and leave it in a box that's down on the registration table as well. It helps. It helps. We take that seriously. Also, once, and now just for the future, once you are preparing to depart from conference, if you would leave your name badges in the same box as the evaluation form, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, and there is also a version of the evaluation form online,
yes,
right? So if you go into I assume into the Western Plains, you can find that as well if you want to do it that way. It really is incredibly helpful to have feedback. I know I always go, okay, so why do I want to fill this out? But it's really helpful to have feedback. So I think at this point, my wife did go find the gavel, but I didn't bring it this morning. So I think we can declare this meeting done.
Okay.
See?